If you have ever had the thought like, I can't go to Disneyland with a baby or I shouldn't go to Disneyland with a baby, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who think that you shouldn't go to Disneyland with a baby, that it's not worth it. Well, I am here to tell you that is completely inaccurate. Some of my best memories are being at the parks with my babies when they were little, when they were like, oh, little chunky, like fat rolls, and I would just hold them and baby wear them, and I miss those days. But seriously, don't think that you can't go to Disneyland just because you have a baby. Watch this video. I'm gonna share my top 3 tips for taking a baby to Disneyland. They're gonna help make your trip more magical, more smooth, and just kind of allow you to have a little bit more fun. And before we get into the tips, please make sure to follow along. I do share a lot of Disney tips here on Chasing Magic Daily on YouTube. I also share on my Instagram. You can follow me over there as well, same name over there. And down below in the caption, I do have a link for you to sign up to get a free packing list for going to Disneyland with kids. So if you want to check that out, I've got a lot of great links in there, products, all kinds of things that you should have when you go to Disneyland with kids. So click the caption down below to get that. So the first thing you're gonna wanna know is what your baby can go on. So there are actually a ton of rides at the Disneyland Resort that babies can go on. These are rides with no height requirement, and a lot of times you can baby wear on those rides. It kind of depends on the cast member, at least from my experience. I've had people tell me that rides where I have baby worn my baby, they were told they couldn't. So it kind of depends, but a lot of times I would just wear my baby and we could go on these rides and sit very comfortably. So the biggest thing I would say is don't fret. There is so much your baby can go on when you go to the Disneyland Resort. In fact, I'm gonna have right here all the rides at both Disney California Adventure Park and Disneyland that babies can go on. One of my personal favorites for babies is It's a Small World, mostly because it's very long, very soothing. So if you need to breastfeed or if you just want your baby to kind of be able to relax a little bit for a while and just kind of sit there, It's a Small World is a great option. But there are plenty of rides all around the resort that are great for babies. I'm also going to link for you down below one of my favorite baby carriers. It's not like a traditional baby carrier. It's one that you wear on your hip. It's called the Tush Baby, and I'm going to have a link for you right down below. That was my go-to baby carrier in the park. So that's when you can use when your child can sit up a little bit. So about 6 months or so, 6 or 7 months. But I would just wear it on my hip and then I would be able to hold my baby. And then when we'd get on the ride, I would leave the Tush Baby over here and just bring them over and set them on my lap for the ride. It was the best. I used it all the time. It's so helpful in the queues when you're waiting in the queues to just be able to like prop the baby right there. Oh my gosh, it was my favorite. So I will have that link down below for you. All right, number 2, and the next thing that you need to know if you're taking a baby to Disneyland is that there are 2 baby care centers on the Disneyland property. So there's one in Disneyland and one in Disney California Adventure Park, and they are incredible. So the one in Disneyland is located like at the end of Main Street, like on the side near like the partner statue, but it's off behind the corner of Plaza Point there. It's kind of like tucked behind. It's a small little center, but it is incredible. And then over at DCA, it's actually right next to Ghirardelli. It's kind of tucked in the back by the Ghirardelli shop. And here's why you want to visit the baby center. So they have private rooms in there where you can either breastfeed or pump if you need to pump, if you brought your pump with you. They have high chairs to feed your baby in. They have a microwave to heat food up. They have toddler-sized toilets, which is really helpful. Like if you're potty training, you need like a shorter potty. They have those in there. They have changing tables. Oh my goodness. They have... I think there's even like a TV, so it's like they can kind of like watch something while you're feeding them in the high chair. There's a kitchen, there's a sink. Oh, and there's also a vending machine, which is super helpful if you forgot something. So if you forgot like certain like baby food or diapers or wipes, or even I think they have bottles and pacifiers. Like if you forgot those things and you're in desperate need of one, they actually have a vending machine with all those things in it. So definitely take advantage of those baby centers, especially if you're breastfeeding and you just want like a quiet spot to go sit and just you and your baby, you can just relax. I used it a lot for that reason. But I have used it too to also like feed my kids, to use the changing table, because the changing tables there are really, really nice and really clean. I've used the toddler toilet in there. I've used it many times. And tip number 3, if you're taking a baby to Disneyland, is knowing that you do not have to give up going on your favorite ride. So maybe it's you and your spouse and your baby, and you guys love Big Thunder Mountain and you both really want to go on it. Well, You can't go on at the same time. However, Disney does offer a service called Rider Switch, and it's really great because you could have one parent, let's say your spouse gets in line in the regular standby line, waits to go on Big Thunder and goes on. Then what happens is you can enter through the Lightning lane, so you don't have to double wait, which is really, really nice and so helpful. Again, I use this a lot when my husband would come with us and I had young ones that didn't want to go on the big rides, whatever it is. Then you can go ahead and you kind of essentially skip the line the second time for the second person. So you're not double waiting. And to use Rider Switch, what you'll do is at the beginning of the line or wherever the line starts for that particular attraction that you're going to use it on, you just go ahead and talk to a cast member, let them know you want to use Rider Switch, and they will actually scan your tickets or passes on your phone in the Disneyland app, and it'll allow you, it gives you kind of like a fast pass, and it gives you, it shows up on your phone, and all you do is like scan into the Lightning lane when the second person is ready to go on the ride. Right here on the screen, I have the list of all the rides at the Disneyland Resort that offer Rider Switch. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you are encouraged to go to Disneyland with a baby. You should be, because it is really fun and there's so much that you can do. Again, don't forget to subscribe as I share more and more Disney tips for you. And please check out this playlist that I have right here for you. This is for more of my Disney tips that you can check out before your Disneyland visit.